Good morning, Ireland. It's Friday, August 2nd, day 132, and I am yet again amazed at what I come across in the woods. It's a mini bookcase. Someone's a fan of The Economist. And there you go. Amazing stuff. They've even got stained glass in the door. Beautiful. So today I bring bad news because, hang on a minute. Yes, today I don't know what I've done, but I can hardly put any weight on my left knee. So I'm kind of hobbling my way. Doesn't help when I come across steps like this, but I'm hobbling my way to a shelter called Whitey shelter. It's at about 17:22, and I'm hoping this goes away. Doesn't feel like it's going to go away. I can walk on the flat, but any stepping up or stepping down, it's like once I go to any angle with my left knee, I can't put any weight on it, and it's a bit worrying. Shit, not good. So I'm experimenting with a stretchy bandage. At the moment I have it just above my kneecap. It certainly wasn't working when it was covering my kneecap, and I had it tripled up and just under my kneecap. That wasn't working either. Just above seems to be, I don't know, half the pain, but we'll see. So, little dark cloud. Catch you later. The blowdown last night. There's a movie that this thing reminds me of. It's a kid's movie where there's a little procession of ants working away, carrying their little piece of leaf or whatever it is that they have. And they're following each other back to their nest. And all of a sudden a seed or something tiny drops right in front of one of them, and it blocks his vision of the guy in front. And he screams, "I'm lost!" So here I am walking along following these white blazes, and suddenly there's a tree down and I know the blazes are on the other side, but it's just reminds me of that moment. I'm lost. So it looks like a few others have trampled the ground down here. There we go. Okay, where is the trail? Ay, ay, ay. Oh, Jesus. Here it is. Here we go. Ay, ay, ay. Nearly had fall number 7 there. Did I mention fall number 6? Don't think I did. I'm not going to tell you about it. It was embarrassing. Good afternoon, Ireland. It is Sunday, August the 4th. I'm nearly at the end of my hike today. It's been a nice one. The weather's beautiful, not too warm. Just passed through the town of Dartmouth, which has one of the American Ivy League schools. Beautiful town, actually. Stopped at a Murphy's pub, obviously. Had Had a glass of cider, it's delicious, and a nice salad. Anytime I can, I get some fresh salads and fruits and stuff into me. It's one of the things we sort of struggle to get. Something heavy over there. Can't see. I've disturbed something. Wouldn't it be cool for you all to see something big the same time I see something big? Come on, be a moose. No. Okay, sorry, false alarm. What was I saying? Dartmouth, yes. So yeah, got some nice salady stuff in. Yeah, I had a question. So some observant viewer noticed that my fall count got up to 6. I wanted to put it in the stats, but I held off explaining because it was a bit of a stupid one. So actually, it was actually when I was on my way down into, let me think, where was it? About 5 days ago, on my way down into one of the towns, and I was ringing a hostel to see if I could get a space. So I rang the number, and of course, just at that perfect moment, I tripped and I did a big cartwheel, ended up on my back, thankfully in some soft ground. And of course, in that split second, it almost slipped my mind that I just dialed the phone number. So I could hear this little voice, hello, hello. So I tried to act all cool. I said, hi, how are you? Yes, it's James White here. And I'm not lying on my back on the ground like an idiot, of course. But I didn't hurt anything. Sort of bumped my right eye socket a little bit, but it didn't bruise up, thankfully. So I'm still alive and everything's going well. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Sorry, I'm very distracted by what's over to my right now. I made something big move. Still haven't seen a moose. Haven't seen a bear in a while. You know, wildlife side of things is getting a bit boring. Okay, talk to you all soon. Bye. Oh, hey, without the aid of a safety net. Good morning, Ireland. It is a magnificent day. Just entering the White Mountain area. This is, I'm just approaching the top of Mount Moosilauke. Of about 3/4 of a mile to the summit. I've just come up a very direct, steep track, which was magnificent actually. Felt really good coming up there, so I'm happy. This is quite a nice little trail. We are, I don't know how high it is or how short we are vertically from the summit, but we must be above 4,000 feet now. Hopefully we catch a few glimpses of scenery shortly. We're a little bit closed in by trees, but that's probably deliberate because these mountains are famous for extremely high dangerous winds, so they probably leave this tree cover here for a little bit of protection on this ridge walk. And that's actually what this is, looking at it now. Very much walking along a tree-lined ridge. It drops each side. So hopefully in a few seconds or minutes we'll have a bit of a view. And I'll show you what it looks like. Talk to you soon. So that's Moosilauke in front of us. Just while we're approaching, so I had a question from Martin yesterday. Thanks, Martin. So just to get one little part of your question out of the way, the shirt that I bought in Toronto, the button-up shirt with the collar, is an Eddie Bauer shirt. The Eddie Bauer brand is an outdoor brand. It wouldn't be, it's not exactly your Arc'teryx or your Rab. It's not of that kind of outdoor quality, but it's okay for that kind of thing. And it's a very comfortable shirt. I'm very happy with it. Okay, so you asked a question about footwear, and you mentioned that yes, it would be nice to have consistency, which I guess I have had. But are there sections where an alternative style of footwear would have been beneficial? So yes to both parts of that. I guess initially I would have been trying to get a type of shoe and go with it, and stick with that exact shoe. So I've almost done that. Okay, I had that little blip with the Salomon shoes Salomon shoes are excellent, but the pair I got, I just needed more toe width. The toe box needed to be much wider, like the Ultra shoes. That's what really makes them really special, that and the fact that they do this zero drop idea. So I started with a thin-soled Ultra shoe, then ignoring the bad pair that I got, I then switched to medium thickness soled Ultra shoe, and I'm now on my third pair of those. So I am currently walking in my fourth set of shoes, ignoring the few days that I spent in the shoes that I couldn't continue to wear. So my view now, retrospectively, is I would probably stick with the same shoe. However, for certainly Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, you absolutely have got to have some sort of rock plate, some sort of surface within your shoe that stops pointy objects from jutting into your feet, which was just torture for me. That was probably the most pain that I felt on the whole AT. And it led to my lowest point where I, crossed my mind that I might have to give up. So footwear is, everything's incredibly important, but footwear is really important. So generally, just to explain why we do what we do, and why we stick with these light trail runner style shoes. So there's a few things. First of all, on the mechanics of your foot and your knee and your hip. When you wear boots that come up over your ankles, that give you ankle protection, which, conventionally hikers do. I'm going to ignore these cairns. I'm going to explain these cairns in a minute, but just stick with the shoes for a second. What you do is you're inhibiting the movement of your ankle, and that's a bad idea. Your ankle, in the context of your entire leg, from toe to hip, your ankle is designed to take up any side bending. Your knee is designed to bend forward and back. Your ankle is designed to do more of a rotation. So if you stand on something that's sideways awkward and you have inhibited the movement of your ankle, that stress is transferred to your knee and your hip, and they are not designed to take that pressure. So it's important on a long trail like this that you keep your ankle moving as freely as possible, and you strengthen your ankle, and you learn how to kind of roll with it if your ankle needs to, bend a little more than you might want it to. You learn to kind of collapse with it. So that's why we don't go with above the ankle height boots. That's first thing. The next thing is the subject of waterproofness. So the general view for, if you're going out for a day hike or a 2-day hike, fine. Put on your waterproof boots. No big deal. Keep yourself dry-ish. You probably still will get wet in some way if you're crossing streams, or even if you're just sweating. It ends up in that shoe. And if you're only on a couple of, a walk for a day or a couple of days, it doesn't really matter. You get home, you dry everything out. But when you're out day after day, like we are, it's very important that your shoe is not waterproof, because it doesn't matter how hard you try, your feet are going to get wet, either from rain running down your legs and into your shoes, or you've got to stand on flooded trails, or you just sweat. And I mean, we're sweating so much all of the time. And if you've got waterproof shoes on, it's like standing in two little buckets. Your feet never get to dry out, and there's a very high probability of you ending up with trench foot. So that's why we don't go with waterproof shoes. The other reason number 3, and I'll stop at reason number 3 because I can't think of a fourth, is the weight of the shoes. So the general view is for every ounce that you've got on your feet, it's the equivalent of having 5 ounces on your back. So if you can come down to a lightweight shoe that between them only weigh, I don't know what they weigh, maybe a pound, instead of a 2-pound pair of boots, that's like taking 5 pounds out of your rucksack. And that's a crazy difference, you know. So they're the 3 main benefits. Don't inhibit the ankle. Allow your shoes to breathe and dry out, and keep them light. So, Martin, I hope you probably weren't expecting such a long answer, but there you go. That's the subject of shoes dealt with. Okay, talk to you soon. Oh, sorry, the cairns. So these cairns are here for a very clever reason, because for a lot of the year, these hills are covered in very deep snow. So these cairns are a navigation aid for people who hike in the snow. So presumably you can have whatever 4 or 5 feet of snow and still see the cairns. So they help people find their way up to the summit. There's loads of them. You see them dotting the way. Very Celtic looking actually. So my walking companion hasn't appeared yet. I hope she's okay. A shock job. I think I see her back there. So there you go. Look at this view. Wow. Haven't had this kind of view in a while. So Moosilauke is just over 4,800 feet high. It's 400 feet higher than Ben Nevis. More than twice the height of Jouse. So it's a magnificent climb up. I really enjoyed it. There is a dangerous descent. Today we got going a little early because there's a thunderstorm forecast, and we don't want to go down the north descent, which we are about to do while the surface is wet. So it's very steep and rocky. I'll show you some of it when we get there. So there you go. Really looking forward to these White Mountains. You can see the exposure we have. Absence of trees. It feels very Irish actually. But the winds really get going up here. So we've got to have our warm stuff to hand, and be very careful about our route and where we plan to stay, etc. So there you go. Talk to you all soon. It's a very steep descent down from Moosilauke, but we've been provided with these steps. And they go down and down and down. Very steep, but very helpful.